Welcome to my channel. I'm Chris Stewart and I make sim racing videos. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of my sim racing space for 2025. Since the last update in 2024, I've moved the rig twice, I've made a handful of updates, and I think it's settled enough, just enough, to show you where I plan to spend my sim racing time this year. Before I take you on a tour, I'd like to thank all of you for watching my content in 2024. My channel has grown quite a bit over the last 6 months and I appreciate all of the encouraging comments. I intend to keep the momentum going into 2025, and so I'd like to start off with a tour of my sim rig. Let's go. The last couple of years, I've had my rig in kind of a couple different places throughout the house, but always in the basement, typically at the back of the basement. This year, I decided to move it into a room that's also in the basement, but in the middle. Wanted to have something dedicated to the sim, dedicated to this space, have a little bit of control over the lighting, the audio, and this is going to be kind of tough because I'm on a phone as opposed to having all the nice filters and everything for my microphone down here. So just wanted to give you guys a view of what I see, what it looks like from the other side of the camera, and I'll walk through and do kind of a quick overview of my rig. So the whole base, it's a SimLab P1X. It's the silver aluminum. I've had this for about 5 years at this point. I bought it actually right before COVID shut most of the world down, so I got quite lucky to get this thing in and set up and configured before it was practically impossible to get any of these things. Absolutely rock solid base, does really everything you could want, super sturdy, flexibility to add little components all over the place. You can see I've added a little arm for the headphones, I've added an arm for my microphone, and then all the typical stuff you would expect, like keyboard tray. We've got a little button box mount to the left, but yeah, absolutely rock solid. Can't say enough about the P1X. It's a fantastic base to build off of. You can literally do it all. Wheelbase is the Simucube 2 Pro. Kind of the same vein. I mean, look, for me it's pretty simple. I've only ever used a Thrustmaster belt-driven TMX, which I really enjoyed, thought it was great. Went from that to the Simucube 2 Pro, so obviously quite the leap. Hard to compare the two. Honestly, there's really just not much of a comparison to be made. Fantastic wheelbase. The profiles that you can get online, you can pretty much make that thing do anything you want. You can make it feel like whatever you want. So great platform to kind of build off of. Recently, I picked up a BavarianSimTec Alpha wheelbase. I've gotten tons of questions about this wheel. It's pretty new in the space. For the price, yes, it's a $1,000 wheel, but for the price, honestly, it's about as good as it gets. The grips, you can see how nice and formed they are around your hands. Honestly, this wheel is fantastic in every way. It's got some really interesting little features to it, like the ABS and the traction control. Each of those lights are individually set. So when you get into your car, SimHub will effectively keep track of where the TC and the ABS were and go back to that setting. It's little touches like that that really set this wheel apart. For the price, hard to beat. Personally, I've got lots of friends that have screens on their wheels, and every single one of them said, I never look at it. Don't spend the extra money on a wheel with a screen. So I didn't, and I saved a lot of money, and I'm quite happy about it. Hard to beat that. Another somewhat recent addition, at least from previous videos that I've done in 2022 and 2024, would be the Simucube active pedals. So speaking of money, I went from the sprints to the active pedals, and I mean they're just not in the same ballpark. These things are incredible. Obviously for the brake. The throttle, certainly not necessary by any stretch of the imagination. It's about as extra gets. Really do appreciate having the ability to very easily customize these pedals, turn them into effectively anything you want through software. It's hard to beat the adjustability of these pedals. The ABS feedback is really cool, yes, but I do genuinely believe that the selling point of these pedals is the configuration and the adjustability through software. Just incredibly hard to beat. All right, I'll show it since I'm back here. Got a nice little tower fan controlled by a remote control. Super critical, quite obviously, on very hot days, especially in the summertime, to have something to keep you cool. Another new addition since the 2024 video would be these absolutely insane monitors. These are the LG 39-inch 800R curve OLED G-Sync 144 hertz HDR, all the things. These things are sick. Honestly, it's kind of hard to give you a great perspective on what it feels like through a video, especially from my telephone. I say telephone, I'm like an old ass man. Cell phone. But yeah, they're 800R. So I sit 800 millimeters away to really try to be able to see directly center, same distance, whether it's the left monitor, center monitor, right monitor. So the perspective that you get is pretty awesome. At the top, I've got the same old 30, the 27-inch Asus I've had on this thing for years. I use JRT or dual real timing, so you can see at the top I've got a standings page, and it's got all sorts of really useful information about pit stops that competitors have made, the time they were in the pits, things like that. Track map in the bottom left, dashboard in the middle. Unfortunately, you can't see active numbers for the fueling, but that's where I'm getting a lot of my fuel information in the middle of a race. How much is in the tank, how many laps remain in the race, estimated fuel needed to get to the end, things like that. And then the bottom right, it's blank, but that's where I see YouTube comments, Twitch comments, and all of those fun things. Let's see, so some of the smaller details, I've got a nice little cheapo wireless Logitech keyboard mouse, honestly, huge. Any of you guys know that do sim racing or flight sims, USBs are at a premium, and so prior I needed 3 USBs to connect a keyboard and a mouse. Just going down to 1, huge. Recently switched over to a dual PC setup, so I've got a second keyboard, a built-in mouse down here. You can see a little bit of purple paint. This used to be a craft room for my wife. It's now a sim room. So, Stream Deck, this used to be set up in such a way that I would control both pit stop parameters, which you can see on the bottom left, and also OBS. But now that this is connected to the Stream Deck or to the Stream PC, I'm only using it with OBS configuration and light configuration and things like that. So, for instance, I've got the lights right now at 100. I'd obviously never use it at 100. So I'll hit down to 50. Give it a little bit easier on the eyes for the contrast. Microphone, that's special. It's a Fifine. It's like a $60 USB mouse microphone that I got. Actually, pretty awesome. Got some Sennheiser. What are these? The HD 650s. Sound fantastic. Highly recommend those if you can get them on a good sale. Let's see. What else? Got some posters. I've had these posters forever. If you've seen some of my old videos from like 2021, 2022, I've had these 2 posters on the wall for forever. Put them in this room. Obviously, they were in a different place in the basement. Got a nice little SCR 3D printed from our fan favorite Peter Nodwell. Printed that out, sent it to all the team members all across the world, which is pretty awesome of him. Got some stickers that I need to put on the back of my seat. Got my old Cube Controls F Pro down there. Not sure what to do with that just yet. Little family calendar. Get that every year. Love it. Let's see. My son's first home run baseball. Got to keep that, obviously. So yeah, trying to think of what else. Got Logitech 4K. Brio is the webcam. Nothing crazy. Obviously, I'd love to have a real camera, but that seems to do the job. Showing a replay right now, just to kind of give you some sense of perspective as to what it looks like from my point of view. Obviously, it's never going to convey as if you're sitting in the rig, but it's kind of as good as it's going to get, I guess. The thing you might be noticing, I have not shown you a computer. This room can get very hot, and computers generate a ton of heat. So what I did was, I tried to do my best to keep these wires tight, and you can see they're all going through the wall. So on the other side, where my rig used to be, there's a little cubby, and I've got my stream PC on the left, racing PC on the right. Yes, I know I need to get that PC off the ground. I'll do that here shortly. Stream PC is a 10900K with a 3080. Way overkill for a stream PC, but it's just what I had. Racing PC is a 13700K with a 4090. And obviously all the cables come through the wall. And that keeps all the heat in this little space, as opposed to in this space where it's nice and comfortable to race for hours and hours on end. You can see all the wires. It's pretty difficult. Anybody that's put one of these together, I mean, it's obviously a challenge to keep the wires in even a remotely decent place. But I've got some powered USB hubs. You can see one on the left over there. And I got a new one over here on the right. One goes to the race PC, one goes to the streaming PC. So I've done my best here to keep them clean, but also keep them functional. These things do move around more than you would think. So I don't want it to be a complete pain in the butt when the time comes to move something around. So I think that's everything. It's the two things. Sparko seat. It's a seat. It's not as great as I wish it was, but it's a seat. Overpriced. Awesome gloves. Love these gloves. Got them as being a part of SimCity Racing. They're a Bruzy. They're super thin, very flexible. They don't get hot. I mean, honestly, they're just fantastic gloves. Shout out to those guys for sure. But yeah, I think that's everything. If you guys have any questions, comments, thoughts, drop them in the comment section below. I answer everything. I'll do my best to answer and give you any kind of insight that I have. But yeah, as far as what I'm going to do next, hopefully, at least my wife would say, hopefully nothing. I hope this thing's in a really good spot. Honestly, can't think of what I'd really want to change at this point. So, feeling pretty good for 2025. Wish you guys the best. Appreciate you for watching. I'll see you in the next.